Welcome to the 7 Days to Amazing podcast, where you learn how to make your life, business, and style even more amazing in the next week. Now your host, Sharon Haver of FocusOnStyle.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Sharon Haver on this week's episode of 7 Days to Amazing. Now, I want to take this opportunity to do something a little bit different this week, but I promise you that you will be amazed. We're sort of at our apex of coming around to having such a great way of having you have a very, very well-balanced what should I call it? Background of different ways to have a very full and well-rounded life, business, and style. We've had some fantastic guests so far, and I thought I would take this opportunity before we go forward in future episodes with more guests to kind of take you around on what you need and also to bring you to something that will really help with the core of your style. It's something really special that I'm releasing this week, and I want to tell you a lot about it. But until we get to that, let's think about some of the guests we've had. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to the episodes, I would love you to catch up, because each and every one of them brings something to your life, because to make it more special, to make it more amazing. Because style is not one-sided. It's not flat. It's not cookie cutter. It's everything. And to have an amazing, incredible life, you need to be able to excel in everything you do in a way that's just right for you, that's personal for you, that sets you in a way that you can just feel at ease and go, I feel good. I feel good about me. I feel good about my business. I feel good about my life. I feel good about how I look in the shape I'm in today. I feel really good about me. I am amazing. So I brought you several different guests. So far, we've had 6 really awesome guests, and we've got a few more coming up that I want to tell you about. But let's start with episode 1, just to give you a quick refresher of where we are before we go forward into what I want to tell you about today, which is something new and super exciting and totally free for you. So our first guest on 7 Days to Amazing was Carson Kressley. And a lot of you know Carson from TV, and he is the fairy god stylist. He was started out on Queer Eye. He's on Celebrity Apprentice. He's got a great new book we were talking about. But more important, Carson was telling you ways that you could get in touch with your style to amp your look, and probably coming from America's leading TV makeover expert. So that was really cool, and it was really great, and it's a funny interview, and I certainly hope that you take the opportunity to backtrack and listen again, or listen for the first time if you haven't, to Carson Kressley. And then for episode 2, we had Jackie Ruka, and Jackie is America's Happyologist. Isn't that a cool title? And what Jackie does is she helps you learn the inner workings on how you interpret happiness. So in other words, when you're having those bummed out days, and we all have our Debbie Downer days and our bummed out days, you want to be able to sit back and say, okay, let me get past this so I can excel, so I can go to the next level that makes me feel great. And Jackie explains in both a very interesting and personable way, as well as in a psychological way, on how you can get happy and be happy in what you do. Because if you're not having your own happiness and joy in your life, it's like, hello, what is the point, right? So, and then for episode 3, we've had Dr. Stephen Bracci, and Dr. Stephen Bracci is an advanced beauty specialist. And what he did is he talked about ways to look younger and to look refreshed and revived in the skin you're in today. So from simple little ways of just starting with sleep, something I know I could have used more of last night, to water, to exercise, to fitness, to injectables, to whatever it is to keep the structure of your face looking refreshed and happy, so you don't look in the mirror and feel like, wow, I feel great, but why do I look so awful? So ways for you to keep your outside in tune with how you feel on the inside. And it's nothing to do about old school facelifts and any of that stuff. This is a very modern approach to looking refreshed in the skin you are in. And then for episode 4, we had Katherine Weber, and she is the creator of the Red Lotus Letter, which is the largest internet e-zine on feng shui. And Katherine was talking about feng shui insights to a better, more successful life, including like really cool things like the color of your wallet, the inside of your bag, the color of your bag, what you wear, just ways of bringing more balance into your life so that you can in turn have more success and not shut yourself off and create these sort of feng shui stop gates that you don't let all that prosperity come to you. And talking about prosperity, episode 5 had Lori Ann Reeves, and Lori Ann is a money expert, and she was talking about your money story, which I find so fascinating. It seems that the relationship that, I shouldn't even say it seems, it's been proven that the relationship that we have with money as to how we relate to money, which is from our own personal finances to our own financial house of where we can prosper and what's holding us back, comes to do with a lot of stories and ways that we were brought up, we were raised, we were involved in our past family history, our relationships, on how we see money. And sometimes these things are so subtle, and when you're able to touch upon it and have that aha moment, there's this big opening that comes with the awareness, and you see the forest from the trees as to what was holding you back and why you're actually stepping on your own foot when it comes to your own personal success. And this is not, yeah, everybody would like more money, but this is also your financial house of your own personal success and your own personal growth, not necessarily always from the dollar bills, but a good part of it. So that's a fascinating expert interview with Lori Ann Reeves. And then last week, we took you all the way around, and now we took you inside some of the most iconic, amazing houses of French fashion. And that was with Alyssa Demont, and she is the author of the new French couture, Icons of Paris Fashion. And we learned so many different ways of how the French fashion houses have changed through the years, how they have created the path for trends that we wear every day, although maybe not couture, because most of us listening here, probably all of us, can't really afford couture. It's quite the fantasy art piece of fashion. But what is shown on couture runways, the way each designer, and as the house lives on, as each designer who succeeds the previous one creates a sort of a catalyst for how fashion transcends down to what we wear, even into trends you see in big box stores and cheapy stores and wherever. So it's a fascinating interview. And to just give you a little forward thinking as to where we're going, we also have an interview coming up with Allison Levine. Allison is, oh my gosh, she is freaking amazing. Like, we had to postpone the interview because Allison was a little busy. Oh, Allison, where are you going, to the mall? No, I'm going to Nepal. La-di-da. Allison has climbed the 7 summits, meaning the highest peak on each continent, a few of them a couple of times. She's also crossed from the North Pole to the South Pole. She's been the leader of the women's climbing team, the American climbing team. She is quite the adventurous. She's amazing. She's incredible. She makes all these athletic feats seem like basically nothing. And she's funny too and wears great clothes. So I thought she would be a good guest, and she was, and she's coming up soon. And Allison will teach you not only how to lead in your life and take charge and being able to do the best with what is in front of you today, because you can't prepare for what you don't know. Just like if you're on a mountain, you just don't know what the weather will bring that day. You don't know what the conditions will bring that day, but you'll know how to be ready. And she also is a very well-known keynote speaker and travels to about 17 cities a month delivering speeches. And she's also going to talk about some speaker style and what to wear when you travel a lot for business, what to wear on stage when you only have a carry-on because you can't possibly check a bag because you want to make sure that you don't lose it because you can't catch up with your luggage. So that's coming up with Allison Levine. And then just to give you one more before we get into today's topic is we have Richard Nahum coming up, and Richard is the founder of I Prefer Paris and of I Prefer Paris Tours. He's an New York expat living in Paris for, oh my God, a long time. How long is it now? Maybe 17, 18 years or so. He's also one of my dearest, oldest friends. And he is going to teach you how to find your own personal Paris or Europe wherever you are. It's really fun. I mean, I know so many people are like, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. I want to travel here. I want to travel there. But sometimes you can't, or you can't as much as you like, or it's just something you need to save up for and wait for, or it's just not feasible in your schedule. So Richard will talk to you about how to find your own perfect city wherever you are. So that's coming up soon, and that's really super cool. So again, I really encourage you to, if you haven't, to go and listen to the previous episodes of 7 Days to Amazing so you could learn from my guest experts how to have a more amazing life, business, and style in the next 7 days. And each and every one of them will provide you with at least one, if not several takeaway tips that you can implement this week, because I don't want you to listen to something and go, oh, that sounds great. That sounds great. And it's so much that you become overwhelmed and you don't know where to start, or that it's just so little and you're like, big deal. I could do that in 5 minutes. I want them to be really strategic moves that you could change in your life to focus on for the week and find a little movement in what you do so that you can help yourself excel, so that you can elevate your personal best self in all areas of your life. And of course, so you can be even more amazing than you already are. So what you can do is go over to iTunes and look for 7 Days to Amazing there. And I really would appreciate, if you don't mind, I'd love you forever, is if you go to iTunes, because it's a new podcast, and the first, I think it's 7 weeks, 8 weeks, so it's coming up soon, really super count to make sure that it gets the ranking it should in iTunes. So I would love, if it moves you and you feel right with this, when you go to iTunes, to please go in there and give us some love, give me some ratings, some stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever moves you, 3 stars. If you hate me, hey, that's your prerogative. Give me 0 stars. And if you have a review, I would love to see you write a review. And if you go into iTunes, there's a little tab on top. You could see it right there. And of course, so you don't miss one of these episodes, please go ahead and subscribe and download them. That's just you have them on your phone wherever you are to listen. If you're at the gym, going for a walk, in the car, wherever you are, you can listen to each week's episode of 7 Days to Amazing in about a half hour. Figure out a way to be more amazing in one part of your life this week. And if you're not an iTunes fan, hey, go over to 7daystoamazing.com and you can get the entire library right there on the FocusOnStyle site. So, that said, let me get a little sip of water. How does that sound to you guys? And I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about today. Oh, thank you. I've gotten to this habit where one of my friends gave me a collection of very high-end French mustard. And I love mustard, especially the kind of designer Frenchy mustard. And I have this thing where I've decided I'm going to cut out the middleman. So instead of putting it on some kind of sandwich and having the carbs, I'll just put like a cucumber in with mustard, So it's like low in calorie and it tastes really good. And these are really great mustards. The one I just had was like a Tarragon Dijon. But man, that can make you really thirsty. So don't try that at home unless you have a nice glass of water by you. But it really is a yummy little, yummy yet a little salty snack. So what I have for you today is something I think you're going to really love. It's super special. I've created this based on my 3 decades in style, and even before that, what I learned from my mom, because, most people think, okay, so I was a stylist for 15 years on New York photo shoots. I've spent over 15 years between FocusOnStyle.com and my syndicated column that went out to 400 papers giving fashion advice and being a media expert and a style expert and a fashion expert and a la expert and all that good old professional stuff. I actually learned everything I know about style from the floor of Loehmann's, which if you guys don't know about Loehmann's, it's a designer discount store. And back in the day, my mother was, we didn't come from a ton of money. And my mom liked me to, my father, my mother, and me, I'm an only child, to look the best we can, to look like we're worth it on the limited means that we had. And for her, that meant really, shopping these great designer discount stores. And in those days, the clothes, it wasn't like it is now where you can get designer discount clothes online or in other stores. Then it was like the designers almost was ashamed. There was a way pre-sample sale decade that they would cut out the labels so you wouldn't know who anything was designed by. You kind of have to recognize the few threads in the label. And, it was really deeply discounted. And what was kind of cool about it was you learned a lot about seaming and design and shape because it was totally egalitarian. Everything was the same. The label was missing. It was just the actual garment that stood out. And I learned a lot about shape and style and construction from that. I also learned, because I was a chubby kid at that point, as to how to dress for my body to feel good in my skin. And my mom taught me everything. I mean, she really just was able to impart such a lifetime of style growing up and ways of feeling confident in how you are dressed and ways of looking in a certain way for the part that you're in that day. If you're in a business meeting, so not hiding your head in shame that you don't look like your peers or you don't look like the people you want to impress, or if you're a woman in business, you want to look like at least more than your client, because your client is coming to you because they want to buy from you. They want your expertise. So you need to level up and feel good if you're going on a date or to a party, just knowing that you feel great. You get that kick in your step and, you got it going on because you feel good. So my mom taught me everything and I learned style that way. And then I realized that most women weren't lucky enough to have my mom. And I learned it mostly when I was on photo shoots. And I would be on fantastic locations and I was doing magazine covers. And you could look at my bio on Focus on Style. And I had a very good, just a rich career as a New York fashion stylist. And I realized then that I would go out and people would say, I can never do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, I can never do it. I can never look like that. Well, why can't you look like that? And they'd be like, well, I'm not a model. I'm not an actress. I can never look like that. And it's like, it made me realize that most women have this fear, the stopgate, that they feel that they can't do something because they never learned it. They were never taught it. And it's not true. I really, really believe that each and every one of us has our own best stylist within ourselves. And that is what I teach the students in the Say Chic Crash Course. And the Say Chic Crash Course is my premier style mentoring program. And it's taking away everything that holds you back and letting you see for yourself how you can be in charge with your look so you can show up like a success, so you can show up feeling confident, and that to sort of take away the velvet ropes, pull back the curtain on the me's and the thems and I can and I can't, and teach women in a way that my mom taught me, which seemed very natural to me. So that said, I've been around this rodeo a few times, this is not new to me, but I was trying to figure out a way to simply break it down so that every woman, any woman can come in and understand style. And for me, I came up with what is chic. Now, if you look up chic, chic means technically smart style. It also means in fashion speak that you kind of look good or you don't. Like, hey, that looks chic. Oh, no, that's not chic. And it's like a black and white issue. And what it means is it looks good. It looks beautiful. It looks interesting. It looks gorgeous. It looks, the wearer doesn't look like the clothes are wearing her. She's not buried in it. She's not hiding in what she's wearing. She's not drowned in what she's wearing. It's just right. It's that just right feeling of everything is just working. So for me, chic really is the 4 pillars of style. And I created an ebook for you called The 4 Pillars of Style, which you can get if you go to focusonstyle.com/4 pillars, and it's totally free. And what it is the 4 pillars of style is the way that you can discover your muse to guide you to your best self. And I believe so many times that things are just, the forest is hidden from the trees. Like, we have no idea where anything is. We just can't even see what's in front of us. And it's there. We just need to learn to open our eyes. And I know for me, on a personal note, it came when I met my muse. And I didn't even realize what an icon she was on how I looked at style until I was actually standing next to her and with her and spending the evening with her. And that is Audrey Hepburn. And I grew up like most women of a certain age. I mean, loving Audrey Hepburn movies. They were always, I would watch the reruns on TV all the time, and Breakfast at Tiffany's, and just, it was kind of like the little girl's fairy princess dream of she's so beautiful, and the cheekbones and the elegance and the elan and everything Audrey. And I can't tell you how much subconsciously it really affected me. So I had been working on a benefit committee on a young, it was what was it called exactly? The New York Metropolitan Junior Committee. So that'll tell you how long ago it was, for UNICEF. And I worked really hard on this benefit. I was co-chairing, and the woman I was doing the co-chairing with kind of flunked out. And all of a sudden, I was doing all the finishing touches. And it was crazy. There were days I was working 16 hours a day, pulling together this benefit for UNICEF. And I really believed in the charity, and I really believed in the benefit. And if I commit to something, I commit. So I did it, and it was great. And then as a thank you, the woman who was one of the chairs there said, hey, Audrey Hepburn is the global ambassador. Would you like to be Audrey Hepburn's escort for the night? I'm like, escort? Oh my God, escort, what does that mean? And she's like, yeah, well, for all these events, we need someone to walk with Audrey and spend the evening with her and make sure she's taken care of and she knows where, her table is. And if she has to break away from a guest, she can, gently do that. Or she has to go put her lipstick on or go to the ladies' room or whatever she needs or something, that there's someone with her to sort of guide her as her escort. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yes, of course I want to do that. So I was pretty nervous. And if you go to Focus on Style and Google Audrey Hepburn, you'll see the photo of me and Audrey. And I was like, oh my God, Patrick McMullen, the photographer, took it of me. I am forever indebted to Patrick for doing that, because it's really one of my most prized mementos. And Audrey was everything you imagine. Every woman came up to her and was like, oh, Audrey, I just loved your movies. I am such a fan. I am such a this and so. And every time someone basically came up there and was like drooling all over her, she was so gracious, and she would say, thank you, that's so very kind. Oh, thank you, that's so lovely. And smile at them and shake their hand as if she just heard it for the first time. But I don't know, that could have been like 50 times that evening at least that people came up to her the same way, and each time she so graciously acknowledged them. And for me, acknowledgement is so important in everything you do. And one of the things that was really blew me away personally on a narcissistic way, is that night I didn't know what to wear. What do I wear? I am meeting Audrey Hepburn. What do I wear? So I used to collect a lot of vintage clothes and an old vintage handmade seamstress, dressmaker, couture pieces. And I found this beautiful black velvet dress, and it's classic. And I had a black velvet belt with some Swarovski crystals that I think was from Oscar de la Renta. And I had also these big flower earrings that I got at a sample sale. And I think they were from Oscar de la Renta or Carolyn Rome at the time. And they were very chic flower earrings. I don't wear earrings anymore, but I did then. And then when I met Miss Hepburn for the evening, I was so unbelievably blown away that her earrings were almost identical. I mean, it was like almost impossible to think that her earrings were not mine. It was so, the difference was so minute. Hers were real and mine were paste, but good. And mine were probably a copy of the earrings that she was wearing. And the earrings she had on, would have guessed, I can't swear by, but I think they were probably Jewels by Jar. And they really looked like one of the Jar big flower earrings. And, mine were, I think, Oscar de la Renta or Carolyn Rome, but it's, still pretty almighty. And I cherish that photo. I'm like, here I am. I subconsciously had been dressing like my muse. I came up with an outfit very similar to what she had on, and, the black and the elegance, but the earrings and everything about her. I mean, I just saw the way that she really just inspired my style. And then going back to the 4 Pillars of Style book, I realized that for a lot of women, they need a muse. So what I did was they needed someone to guide them. They need a little inspiration. I created 4 muses for you based on the four pillars of style, which for me is the word chic. So the first muse is for confident, because the first part of chic is being confident, and that is Chloe Confident. And my muse Chloe knows that no matter what, confidence is key to not only knowing how you project yourself, but how you have your own inner joy. So the first C in chic is confident. And confident means that whatever you're wearing, it's right. That's what makes your heart sing. That's what makes you feel good, because you look good and you know it. So for that muse, I like to call her Chloe Confident. And of course, in the 4 Pillars of Style book, I go much further into it, but that'll give you kind of a quickie right now, because I want to keep us to our regular time here. And then the next pillar of style is being harmonious. So remember, chic, very clever, CH, so H is for harmonious, and that's Heather Harmonious. And Heather knows that to come off elegantly and effortlessly, she needs to have everything about her come together in the most harmonious way without any confusion that distracts from her presence. So that's a way of having that ease and elegance, of simplicity, of knowing that everything on you goes together as a whole, that one thing is not so abstract that takes away from another, that one thing doesn't drown you because it's dated or old, and that it just simply are shapes that don't flatter or go together or don't complement each other. It's that everything is harmonious in one being. And then for our third pillar in the word chic is I, we have interesting. And that, for me, my muse is Isabella Interesting. And Isabella, she knows that to truly have that certain something, your entire life, it needs to come together as a whole to be interesting, amazing, so you can be the best version of yourself, so that you can excel in all that you do. So interesting is the way to have that personal, unique touch in whatever you're doing, so that it's you. It's not the cookie cutter of somebody else, or you don't look like, the exact copy of your muse or your icon or whatever inspires you or whomever inspires you that day, that you have that interesting flourish that's only you, that's special to you. And then the last pillar, style pillar, and the last letter in chic is C for classic. And that is, my muse for that is Constance Classic. Constance knows that you're tired of being stressed out when you get dressed, and you're transitioning to a new phase in your life, one that celebrates who you are today. You understand that you are unique, but don't want to have any of those "what was I thinking" moments when you're out there. Trendy is not your thing, and you certainly don't want to look dated. You crave a timeless edge without being boring, juvenile, or heavens forbid, dowdy. To dowdy. So the 4 pillars of style are confident, harmonious, interesting, and classic. And for each one in the 4 pillars of style guide, I have a muse, just like I had Audrey as my muse, to help you find your path to style. And what's really kind of fun is that when you read the 4 pillars of style and you find which pillar is the closest to where you are today, you will find that muse will guide you to even more wonderful gifts from me. So she will actually gift you down to the next set of freemium offers that I have, so that you can really pursue whatever is the state that you're in today, and just get sort of drawn down the right path and letting your muse guide you. So if that sounds something that resonates with you, and I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, who doesn't need to know the 4 pillars of style, really, right? You've got to know this stuff. You've got to really feel it, the confident, harmonious, interesting, and classic way to setting yourself forward. So for that, I would love for you to go to FocusOnStyle.com/the 4 pillars of style. And when my handy dandy announcer comes on at the end, he will also give you another link that will take you there as well. And you'll be able to completely, it's complimentary, it's free. I'm gifting this to you. It's my new little favorite toy to help you make the most of what you've got on every day. It's the 4 pillars of style. Discover your muse to guide you to your best self. And I really hope, that helps you out. I think it will. I think it's great. It's a beautiful ebook. We had a designer really put it together. It's gorgeous. It's fully illustrated, and it's free. So at the end, you'll hear the link from my handy dandy announcer, and I hope that will help you out in finding your 4 pillars of style. I hope you enjoyed my story about meeting Audrey Hepburn, which is totally divine, and I can't even tell you how it floats my boat. It was probably one of the best nights of my life, next to, meeting my husband, having my son. It was a pretty awesome evening, and I feel very lucky and privileged and honored and grateful, all those good things, to have been able to have the opportunity to meet Miss Hepburn, because she really was just beautiful. She's just so gorgeous and so elegant and graceful and poised and just really amazing. And sadly, she passed away not that long after that. And I think, really, that was a dark day for so many women, and also for the children, and her wonderful work with UNICEF, but so many women who've looked up to her and have really admired her. And she really was a special character. So on that note, I will be bidding adieu. Again, please don't forget the 4 pillars of style. Go back to the 7 Days to Amazing library on Focus on Style, and you can catch up with all the great guests that I told you we've had, the couple of the ones we have coming up. And please, again, I really would love for you to go to iTunes and check it out there. We could use it. So 7 Days to Amazing. Every day, every week, we're going to find another way for you to make your life even more incredible. And this week, we'll get the 4 pillars of style, so you can look at this for your next week. This is your homework assignment for this week, is to really how to get your chic on. Confident, harmonious, interesting, and classic style, so you can show up and stand out like a success and feel great about yourself. I'm all about having your outside match your inside and honing in on what you need so that you can expand your horizons, you can excel, and you can just be even more amazing in the next week. So see you in the next episode. Thank you. Mwah! Big kiss and take care. Bye-bye.
That's a wrap. Well, not so fast. Don't forget to hop over to FocusOnStyle.com for exclusive content to help you live your most amazing life with style and success. For even more great stuff that Sharon only shares by email, subscribe to her In the Know list at www.focusonstyle.com/insiders. See you next time.